Sit up straight and tall. So the great thing is that the principles of yoga don't discriminate. Yoga poses do, but what's being passed down doesn't. Part of what's being passed down is this thing that seems like an abstraction, which is that you're unified with everything. And the trick is to learn that that's not a mental abstraction, that that's a literal truth. That our culture, you go outside these doors and you realize our culture has forgotten that we're connected to everything. Literally. Alright, so sit up straight and tall. Bring yourself into the room. So presence is something that you allow. It's not something you do. Your mind can't do it. In fact, your mind is the organ of disconnection. Your body has solved presence. Right? So you allow in the beginning. There's a sum total of your sensation of what it is to be you. And I don't mean that maybe your shoulder hurts or maybe you're busy today. Below that, there's a hum. There's a hum of existence that precedes all disability. That's part of what we share at My Body Solutions. So locate yourself in the room. The mind tends to resist three-dimensional space because it can't control three-dimensional space. So be open to the space below you and above you, and especially the space behind you. The space behind you supports you. What you can't see, what you can't feel, what you can't touch, you have to receive. You're never alone here, ever. So let it in before the asana starts. Our culture needs to we're never going to come to a better country if we think we have to all agree. We're never going to agree. But we share something that precedes belief. And it's right here. Keep letting in. Asana, yoga poses, allow you to become congruent with the sensation of your existence. It uses the body to come in greater alignment so the mind can realize it's part of something. So start to feel your base. If you're in a wheelchair, your feet on the pedals, your sitting bones. If you're on the floor, your sitting bones, the outsides of your feet, where your shin hits your calf, or where your tailbone is. In order for your life force to come more fully into the world, conditions of safety must be met. For your spine, for your mind, especially for your spine. So this around the base, around your spine, allow. And once you start allowing the drop, there's an opportunity to start to rise. Right? So you feel your base, whatever you have, wherever you're sitting today, and start to raise up the front of the spine. And then spread it into the world, spread it across the collarbones, and especially across the back ribs. The back side of your body needs to more enter the world, and your mind will be calmer. Right? So you're rising up, but you're broadening across. Soften your jaw, the inside of your mouth. This is the top of your spine. The top of your spine is your mouth. Keep it open. Bring your hands into prayer. Connect. Try to equalize the pressure between your hands. Consider your hands as attractive to each other, like magnets. But as you press gently, spread up through the palms. Drop the shoulders down, lift under the collarbones. As you do this, notice the awareness in your base changes. Re-soften the organs of perception. Re-let in what's behind you. Fill the vessel. And then breathe and fill the vessel. Let go of your day. And prepare your mind to do yoga. As your mind starts to wane, repose, refeel, reconnect. There's always the opportunity to begin again. Always. And in this last couple of moments, be grateful Not for anything in particular. Just be grateful. Let it in. It feels good here, even if your body and mind hurt. It's good here. A simple but hard truth. Good, and then release your hands under your thighs, palms up. Take your sternum up towards your chin down over your sternum. Notice that this position, lift your sternum more than dropping your chin. This position makes your spine be a little bit more active. Your rib cage, which is the fingers of your spine trying to caress your breath. Right? Your rib cage brings some discipline to it by lifting your chest. So your inhalation nudges the inside of your rib cage and goes right into your spine. Notice that. You get to breathe right into your spine, right into the center of your life force. The spine manifests the energy of living. Your brain only organizes it. Right? But it comes right through your core. Breathe into that. Raise your head up with closed eyes. Open your eyes. Change the interlock on your legs. So the yogis will try to tell you that there's some magical energy here, which I agree with. They sometimes call it Kundalini energy. And one of the core principles of all we teach in adaptive yoga is that, but this is true about Kundalini energy, the Kundalini energy has to drop before it can rise. It's always going into at least two directions. Always. Right? So this idea of being able to drop is essential in every yoga pose. You have to, we say it in our training, to put down to go up. It's much deeper than that. Literally, I'm trying to show that over and over today in this practice, is that falling towards the earth is necessary for rising. In fact, in an ancient text, the yogis talk about, I love this image, that that yogis are trying to weave the earth and the sky together. That you are the conduit between both. Your energy weaves them together. These two different energies. The grounding of the earth and the expansive potential of the sky. Both are essential in every yoga pose. And you are manifestations of a rise and a fall. So these next few inhalations and exhalations, notice the inhalation. I just want to show you how true this is. It's true in almost every yoga. It is every yoga. So inhale and fill the chest. But on this next exhalation, don't drop your chest. So as you take the inhalation in, keep the chest lifted as you exhale. Now notice something. So this next time, inhale up and exhale as if I'm pushing on the inner edge of your shoulder blades. So I'm pushing forward on the shoulder blade. Right? So notice that if you lift, that you raise up and expand, and you exhale from the back ribs, can you tell that more awareness is going through your sitting bones into the top of your head? Can you feel that? There's a subtle connection here that's essential to show to someone with disability. That even though they're sitting all the time, they're also rising, which you lose track of when you live with a disability. That there's a constant interplay between rising and falling. And this is true of the existential condition. We're revealing truths to people with disability about how to live their body. But they're truths for all of us. So keep inhaling and exhaling from the back ribs. So you grow on the inhalation in every direction and you extend through your spine on the exhalation. You grow on the inhalation, you extend through the spine on the exhalation. Every pose, always. So now interlock your fingers. Stretch your palms towards me. Now take the shoulder blades in and down. Now notice, stretch out to the inside edge of your arms. The inside edge of your arms, and make the heel of your hand go like you're shooting Spider-Man shooting web. Now release that for a second and do it again. Repose and notice as soon as you start working your arms, the energy starts going down through your sitting bones. Can you feel that? Your abdomen changes. That's down. That's a downward. That's in every pose. And then from that downward energy, inhale and take your arms up over your head. You've got to find down. Something has to drop towards the earth in order for you to rise. So now I ask you to take your upper arms together and your wrists away from each other. You bet. Right? Upper arms together wrists away from each other. Can you notice that helps you feel down? Every single pose, this is an existential truth. Keep rising up. Now open your palms towards the sky. Nope, just open them like so. Same, keep your hands in the same interlock. And then with a wide arc, touch everything. Take your arms wide, like a wide, take them down. Wide arc, touch everything. Do you know you're touching everything? If we're all interconnected, then you are touching everything. Sometimes you should practice as if you're actually integrated with the universe. You should just practice that way. Change your light on your fingers. Stretch your arms straight out towards me again. Find the earth by stretching your arms. Take the shoulder blades down. Stretch out to the heel of your hand. Notice the grounding sensation of that. From the grounding sensation, take the arms up over the head. Take the upper arm together, the wrists sit away. Find the corridor down through the base. Open the palms. Don't move your hands. Open the palms up. Good. And then with the wide arcs, keep that same. With a wide arc, touch everything. Touch everything. Do you think you can touch everything? Do you actually think you can't touch everything? Right? Okay, so Sammy's not going to take her arms up over her head, but she's going to feel the underside of her arms. So she's changing right there. If you're close to us, pay attention. Right? That's we're helping her feel the underside so she can get more connected. All right. Everyone that can stand up. No, actually, sit up. Pardon me, I lied. One more quick thing. So I was teaching this class, and my yoga teacher, it's always great to have a teacher, right? She listens to me talking about the rising and falling in every pose. It's in every single pose. That's what the theme through all the poses we're about to do. And the one thing she said, you know what, and then she told me about the weaving the sky and the earth and the sky together. So it's such a tendency to think that in order to, you have to reach for the sky. Now sit here and draw down to your sitting bones. Okay? And then lift up the chest. Right? Do that. And as you exhale, feel the extension of your spine. But instead of just reaching for the sky, I'm going to say something weird. Bring the sky down. Bring it down. You hit down, rise up, but bring the sky down. That changes everything. That lit my mind beyond belief. That I can actually bring the sky down and become a weaving between the earth and the sky. I'm not always aspiring in a pose. If I bring the sky towards the earth and lift up from the earth, I can touch the sky if I bring it down. Keep breathing into that. All right. Then stand up. If you can. So one of the things that I think is curious about the sensation of freedom is that we think it's like mental, but the sensation of freedom. By the way, just in the video here, you saw him stand up. This is a miraculous accomplishment. Him standing with nothing to lean on. That's all we know, right? All right, so this idea of Tadasana, and this, you're going in both directions here. So we tell you to balance on the, bring your feet together, do the one where, except for Jeff, don't mess with your balance so much, right? Okay, so I want you to balance on the four corners of your feet. I want you to lift your chest, hands at your sides. Do whatever you know of Tadasana. But I want to ask you, if yoga is about connection, balance in the room. So this is a weird instruction, right? How do you balance in the room? So I want to, and open to the whole room as you're standing, as you're grounding your feet. So Angie is pressing on Sammy's knees so she gets the grounding sensation that you're getting from standing with gravity. Right? We're adapting sensations here. Okay? So now I want you, those of you that can't, Jeff, beware here. Right? Come on more, lean forward on the balls of your feet. Don't come off your heels. Just lean forward. Like you're going to fall a little bit. Now, do you feel more or less connected to the room? Less. Muscular action is a disconnecting action. Go behind the balance point. More or less connected. Less. You come to balance to unify. That's why you balance. So come back to the four corners of your feet. So now, open, here's a very weird instruction, open your feet, which is not very easy to do, right? So I want everyone to lift their toes up. Keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. And now press down to the inner edge of your toe mold. So diagonally down into the ground. Diagonally down into the ground. And really move your pinky toe mold out to the side. Your toes are still up, they're up, they're up. So you're grinding down on the inner edge, you're going down towards the earth on the inner edge of the toe mound, right? On the big toe mound. Then you're going across on the pinky toe mound. Do you feel the rise up from that? Pay attention. And now keep that action in your arches and set your toes back down. You have to learn to go down with strength towards the earth in order to rise up through it and become a mountain, right? What's crazy about lifting the chest, so I want you to make sure that like you open your elbow and you drive across your palm. That keeps the energy staying down, right? So you're lifting up, you're rising, but you're keeping things open and moving down at the same time. Always multiple directions at once. Always in the yoga pose. And then inhale and take your arms up over your head. Palms toward each other. They don't have to touch. It's hard to show. So now, rotate the tricep in towards the ear. Right? In other words, turn this whole shoulder girdle inward. Not the palms behind you, though. This action is for you to feel your feet. It's so you can go down. And once you see that, then extend up beyond your fingertips. But in order to extend up beyond your fingertips, you have to go down to the floor, right? You have to do both. You have to fill this space. You're never just touching. Your poses don't end at the terminus of your body. Keep breathing and extending. Come on, straighten your arms. Some of you need to straighten your arms. You need to do a little bit more work. Good, and then release. Take your arms down. Take your feet hip width apart. Grab up on your elbows. Over your head. So pull yourself taller. But as you pull yourself taller, hit down through your heels. Don't overlock your knees. Are you opening your feet at the same time? Open your feet. Pull yourself up. Start moving in two directions. Breathe. Being able to move in multiple directions at once will get more difficult as you age. Inhale, on an exhalation, come on down to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. So someone in a wheelchair is going to come forward a little bit more. So now, oh my goodness, take your feet farther apart if your knees or your hamstrings are tight. You know it's not shameful if you have tight hamstrings? You know that? You're not a bad person. You're not a lame person. You're not a lazy person. It's okay if your hamstrings are tight. The beginning of yoga is resistance. Right? And you've got to learn how to work with your resistance to become more conscious. So now you press down to the inner edge of each heel. Inner and outer edge of each heel. As you lift your thigh, your kneecaps up. As you lift your kneecaps up. Just dance a little more. So you're actually hitting down to the earth, but you're lengthening your legs. And then you're dropping your torso down. Good, and then, if you can, put your hands by your hips, palms up. Concave your back. Bend your knees if you have to. If you don't, if you don't. And then inhale, take your arms straight up over your head again. But keep pressing down through your heels the whole time. Inhale, take your arms up over your head. Stand up. Arms go straight up over your head. Go all the way up. Reach for the sky, but then bring it down. Feel the grounding of that? You can actually bring the sky down and it grounds you. That should kind of blow your mind, actually. That the grounding sensation, you can pull the sky down and ground. But when you pull the sky down, can you tell? You bring your upper arm muscles towards the humerus bone. Can you tell certain things happen to pull the sky down? Right? There are things that are happening here. It's amazing. We actually do weave the two together, right? And then inhale again, and on exhalation, come on down. Uttanasana. Come forward if you can. Again, pressing down to the inner edge of each heel, drawing the kneecaps or the front, the back of the thigh up towards the sky. As you're pressing down to the heels. Don't worry about if you can touch the floor. Find the place where you can actually work. Good. And then put your hands by your hips, palms up, concave your back, stand up, go right straight over your head again. Get down through your heels and reach up to the sky, and then draw the sky down to the earth, and then rise the earth up to the sky, and go back and forth. You are the weaving between the earth and the sky. Good. And then take your arms down. Down facing down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Yeah, if you can jump a chair. Yep, chair's coming. So if you're sitting in your chair, put your hands on your thighs, on your knees, right? Press in on your own knees, lift your chest, get down to your sitting bones, and stretch up to the top of your head. Come on, straighten your arms. You guys, I'm looking at you in the chair. Straighten your arms up. Work your arms. Yes. See, everyone else is working their arms, right? So we want you to work your arms, ground your feet, lift your chest, and breathe. If your name is Jane, take your feet away from your hands. If your name is Jane, I'm talking to Jane. She'd be a board member, so I get to pick on her. And then come on down into child's pose. Don't wear yourself out. This is a long class. If you work really hard, make sure you get the stamina. All right. Have a seat up. Face forward, Dandasana. One of our, most everyone needs this pose. Legs straight out in front of you. Long sitting. Call it long sitting. This is a horrible pose. The pose I've done the most in my entire 27 years of yoga, right? I freaking hate this pose. And I go through the whole period of my life where I suck at it, and then I'm good at it again, and then I suck at it. Whatever. Right? That's what I love, is that people think they gotta make yoga really complicated to make it hard. This is one of the hardest poses there is, especially if you do it for a long time. Hands by your sides. Inner upper thigh hitting in and down. Stretch out through your heels, pull your toes back towards your face. And so, I'm not seeing, I have to look at every 100 whatever in the room, no one's on their sitting bones very well, right? You gotta figure out where you need to be on your sitting bones. Find where the balance is. So just lean back behind the balance point and notice you're less connected to your heels. Turns out that gravity really matters. A lot. Come on, balance on your sitting bones and watch awareness for your legs. This happens for someone who's got a separate spinal cord. That gravity actually moves my body awareness without effort. That's one of the revolutions of Iyengar yoga. So now, take your arms over your head. Remember I was teaching a whole bunch of Navy SEALs, right? And they're really, Marines and Navy SEALs, and they're pretty tough, right? And then thinking this is sissy stuff, right? So I have them, one of the great things about this is that the reason why they even let me teach them is that the retired Navy SEAL who had become the first admiral ever from the SEALs, he came into the middle of a room of these young bucks full of testosterone, and he rolled out his pink sticky man. Put it right in the middle. So I had him do this for a while. Anyone getting crabby yet? Oh, freaking right. They're thinking they're really tough, right? They're like, yeah. Roll the tricep towards each other, hit the sitting bones down. Hit down to the earth and go up through the sky. And then bring the sky down to your fingertips. For God's sakes, do the pose. Straighten your arms. Oh, for God's sakes, I'm looking right at you. Yeah, you see me looking at you. Straighten your arms. So I'm doing this to them. And they're starting to sweat really hard, really fast. And they're getting, can you feel the hatred, dude? Yeah, but they're telling me yoga's not tough. And what's fabulous is that the assistant, the teachers there who are like women are actually being able to hold their arms up and they're dying. And I go, really? You're not as strong as this one here? Oh, for God's sakes. Take your arms down. Oh, thank goodness, right? Why is that so much harder than standing? Gravity's different. Gravity's not right underneath you. It's not going right through you. Gravity's going a couple of different directions. Right? Take your arms up over your head. Mm-hmm. When you're sitting on the floor, it's also harder to find the earth, isn't it? Your base isn't as good, so you're not as strong. So a lot of you are overusing your fingers to hold your arms up. Right here, in the grade. You're going like this with your fingers because you're trying to hold your arms up, right? That's cheating. Mm-hmm. Now turn your palms straight ahead. Open the soles of your feet. Do you know this is just a version of downward facing dog? Alright, so now just roll over and do downward facing dog. Seriously, roll over, do downward facing dog. Same position again. Right? You just have inverted the room now. You've inverted the room. Jeff, just wait. I'm just making a point. Alright? That one of the things, a lot of you have your feet close together, right? Take your feet farther apart. Come on, raise the tailbone, raise the sitting bones towards the sky. For God's sakes, lengthen your spine. Now here's the deal. I'm going to make it really bad for a second. Keep your hands in the same place, but bring your fingers together. Yeah, and you can't even breathe as well now, for God's sakes. Open the fingers, open the palms, and feel the openness and the skyward energy, and reach towards it. Mm-hmm. Good, and then come on down into child's pose. No rest for the wicked. Come back to Dandasana. Right now, roll back over. Long sit again. Mm-hmm. Just stay there. Take your arms back over your head. Just think if you had my practice and you never got off the floor again. You'd go screaming for the doors, man. Because it's hard to be. Not being able to touch the rise as well. That's what it's like to live in a wheelchair. That's what it's like to age. The possibility of the sky and the expansiveness of the sky is not as accessible if you're in a chair, or you live with age, or you live with disability. Right? Mm-hmm. So you're reaching skyward, palms towards each other. Now it turns out, one of the best things that ever happened in human existence is when one became two. So take your arms down and, nope, not you guys. Now can you imagine Sammy, who has been my student for 13 years. Okay, she became, just like she's a very high level quadriplegic, right? She doesn't get spaciousness like this. She doesn't get to feel expansive and stretching out to outer edges. So right now, she goes out to her elbow, she can go to the top of her head. There she just went. If you're up close, you just saw her expand. This changes her breathing. It's not about the full pose, and we're not worried about taking our arms wide over her head. We want her to feel expansive. Good, and then take your arms down. Sit in Dandasana. And Sammy came to me someone that At 13 years, I didn't think she was going to make it. She was 19. She actually got injured body surfing, right, in San Diego. And she was down to a tiny little bit of weight and wasn't making it. Didn't know, I honestly didn't know she was going to make it. And then she started doing yoga, and things started to change because instead of trying to make her do poses, we helped her fill the vessel again. Now she works, almost full-time at Target. It's 13 years later, and she's one of our best students. All right? When one becomes two, when Sammy isn't made to do everything by herself, and then Chris will go behind her. It turns out what we figured out in our adaptive yoga classes is that yoga is happening in this person too. In this person. As Sammy opens, I can tell you, they feel it inside their bodies. Turns out that we're more connected than we think, and we're not practicing it. Right? So what we figured out is our assistants are actually having yoga come through them. They're not just helping people. That this is an experience for everyone to have. And right away, I can tell you they're heating up, right? Yeah, because her energy, her spine is becoming more into full force. They're getting hot because she's heating up. Because they're connected. And I can feel the heat coming from them. Because their spine usually doesn't get full expression into the room. She's having to live without full expression of her spine. Same with you. Just more extreme here. Good. And then when we sit in Dandasana, when one becomes two, so take your arms over your head. Damn it, here's that pose again. I hate that. Reach for the sky by heading down through your sitting bones. Bring the sky down as a grounding activity so you can reach for the sky. Learn to breathe congruently with all of that. There you go. Good, and then take your arms up. Now you're going to partner up, and you're going to turn toward whoever is right around you. Don't be shy. And you're going to put your feet into each other's feet. So for people in wheelchairs, we're putting reference on their knees. Hold on. Hold on. Put your lips together. Don't touch, move your feet a little bit away for a second. Legs together so your thighs meet, right? And what happens when your feet go into each other's feet? So push into each other's feet. You feel the grounding energy? Feel that? Feel that you have a container? You know where your boundary is? When one becomes two, grounding increases. Right? And it's interesting, and that's why you want to learn to do it on your own, but this actually changes things, right? So now, move your feet apart again, scoot back again. Inhale, take your arms over your head. Now scooch in again and touch each other's feet. Keep your arms up, for God's sake. Is that easier or harder now that you're in each other's feet? Easier? You feel all the energy went down because someone's with you? Stretch up. Stretch up. Use their feet. Use the feet to get taller. Breathe. Good. Enough of that voice. This is annoying. Take your arms down. Downward facing dog again. That's good. So you're getting that energy outside the knees, right? Remember, you've got to fall. You've got to learn to open your hands to the earth so you can rise out and use the earth to go towards the sky. So if your name is Mark, take your hands farther away from your feet. I'm talking to you, Mark. Now hit those sitting bones up towards where the ceiling hits the wall. Come on, lengthen your spine and breathe. Good. And then come on down to child's pose. Stand up. So, Molly, what time did the class start? Trying to figure out how much time I have.
You have 15 minutes.
I have 15 minutes. I'm getting shocked. All right. Turn and face towards where I am. Take your feet, arms and legs wide. Arms and legs wide. Know how to be in space. Put light right in your joints. Put light right in your joints. Your ankles, your knees, your hips, light right in that. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Your head's a joint. Expand in every direction. Inhale into that expansion and then exhale and extend through your limbs. So you're growing both on the inhalation and the exhalation. Now do the same thing, but don't do any work in your legs. Let your legs go flat. So you see that was not a good fall, right? You just lost the sky. Re-engage your legs. Feet are pointed straight ahead and roll the thighs away from each other. And use that work to help your arms. So the stability in your legs starts to make your arms be able to work better. That's why over there we're pushing on people's knees and stuff, trying to get the stability in their legs. Now turn your palms up over your head. And then reach for the sky again. Come on, straighten your arms if you're wearing a purple hat. Now I'm looking right at you, that is exactly right. At least I know I'm here, because you just changed. That's good. And then take your arms forward. And then jump or step your feet back together. Stand in Asana. Now what's crazy about living in a body is that if you start to integrate the space right around your body, advanced practitioners know this in yoga, when you start to utilize the space right around your body, you actually get stronger. Right? When you open to it, you don't have to grab it and squeeze it, because you can't squeeze empty space. Well, you can integrate empty space. Take your arms and legs wide again. Remember that feet are pointed, this is good. Is this okay in your drawing? Work your arms to go on your legs, go on your legs to keep being big in space. I forgot what I was going to teach. I'll just think here for a second while you guys are struggling. Actually, now, I know, right? Start to feel the space between your legs. So that changes you right away. Connect that space to the space under your arms. Help it hold you up. Connect that to the space between your shoulder and your ears. Don't lose the space between your legs and the space under your arms, and now breathe into all of it. Use the space around your body. You're already integrated. Now from the space between your legs, turn your palms up, and then from the space between your legs, help you take your arms up over your head. Take your arms up over your head. Keep connecting the space between your legs. Now connect the space between your palms without actually closing your hands closer together. Make that connecting the space between your legs, the space between your palms. Make that part of your pose. Make the space along your side body part of the pose, and breathe for the whole kitchen sink. Breathe into a more fully dynamic into this space. Receive. There. Receive more. Let it in. Don't always just struggle. Good. And then take your arms wide. Out. Be big. And then take your arms down. Step your feet back together. Did you notice something? When you let the space in around you, in your poses, your muscles go towards the midline. Now, this is something I'm saying a lot of like work into in your yoga practice. That in fact, being more connected makes you go inward. You have to go in towards the midline in order to expand outward in your pose. This isn't just true about asana. If you want to be able to expand into your life, you're going to have to ground inward towards the midline. So right now, when I tell you to feel the space around you as part of your pose, notice right away that starts to engage Tadasana. Right? That actually starts to happen. Jump or step your feet wide again. This is in every single yoga pose. And remember, when you start to feel yourself, take your arms wide. When you start to feel the space around you, have it come in and then expand out and get bigger. Now the yogis just got bored, so they made it harder. Turn your left foot in, right foot out. So now when you turn your left foot in, right foot out, you see how a lot of you just fell apart and dropped and your skin energy, your awareness just dropped. So we're going to give you instructions. Take the whole inner thigh of the back, keep the pelvis facing forward. Take the whole inner thigh of the back leg away from the front leg. Press down to the inner edge of the front leg. Let's get him a chair in front of him. Okay, that's fine. Alright, don't forget the back arm. Forgot the back arm. Don't forget the outer rim of the back heel. Because what's going to happen when your mind starts coming this way, you're going to lose the back side of your body. And it's not going to be as much yoga. So inhale on an exhalation. Come on down into Trikonasana. Triangle pose. This is going to be quick though. I want you to stay. Okay? Now, make sure that you are grounding your legs. Press into the inside edge of the front foot. Drawing energy up into the hip. Press weight to the arm of the back heel so your spine can elongate in the pose. The spine has to elongate in the pose from the tailbone to the top of the head. How is your upper hand? Is it caressing the air above you? Probably not. Open your palms. Open your palms. Find ease. Nice pose here. Good. And now from the upper arm, as if someone's lifting you from the upper arm. But notice what this does. That keeps you reaching way skyward. From the upper arm, come on up. Reach all the way up as if you're going beyond your body. Turn your feet straight ahead. Put your hands on your hips. Like the idea in your poses, if you know where the grounding center is, you reach beyond your body to do movements. Okay? This is going to be crucial for someone living with a disability. Because they're kind of getting more and more stuck in a space that they think they have to control, so they're not being able to feel expansive. Right? The sensation of expanse is freedom. The sensation of expansion only comes from going towards the midline. It's not from reaching. You don't reach to expand. You ground to expand. Right? All right, take your arms wide. Be bigger again. Use the empty spaces. Spread out into space. Touch everything, for God's sake. Why wouldn't you want to touch everything? I would. And then turn the other foot up. I forgot which side, that's why I said that. That was maybe a bad teacher. All right, and then this person's doing it backwards, so we're getting all confused over here, so it's all got me. Come on, open to everything, even though your hips are turned. That's why we tell you to take awareness to the inner edge of the back thigh, inner edge of the thigh, away from the front foot. Come on, use your legs to expand your arms. Come on, use your spines. Come on, man, touch everything. Touch everything. Inhale on an exhalation. Come on down to Trikonasana. Come on, ground the legs, because unless you work the legs, the energy doesn't touch the earth as well. And then it can't go up towards the sky as well. Right? And then the belly rotates towards the top of the seat, towards the ceiling, in an effort to actually touch the sky. So you're trying to touch the sky by rotating the belly towards the ceiling. Come on now, touch and go beyond, go down to the feet, down to the bottom arm, touch above the upper arm. Extend out to the top of the head, extend out to the tailbone. Fill the vessel to touch everywhere, but only by grounding the vessel to touch everywhere. Good, and then come on back up. Turn your feet straight ahead. Jump or step your feet back together. Stand in Asana. Getting cut on time. Can I go for a couple hours? Good. Amy and Chris, go back to back here. Because I gotta do something that feels good. You're not at the end. Because I'm near the end and I don't want to be near the end. So remember that before you guys do it, like yoga poses are supposed to reflect what's actually existentially true. And the energy here is going in every direction. That's what's true. So as you stand here for a second in Tadasana, go in every direction. Now watch what happens. Everyone stick your butt out a little bit. You can't go in every direction when you get out of alignment. You have to be in alignment to go in every direction. You know what the ancients say? Natural consequence of alignment is compassion. Do you know how to align yourself with humanity? Are you strong enough? Are you open enough? And once that starts happening, you'll start helping more. It's really simple, and it starts here in your mind-body relationship. The way you open the space around you, the way you receive it, the way you have it. All right, and so what's going to happen here, just watch for a second. We're going to partner up, interlock your arms. We're going to make it fun here for a second. Come on, how much time?
7 minutes.
Okay, so then you go back and forth. You're going to fall open. So what I like here is that one person's going in a forward bend, going inward, and the other person's falling open. And then it reverses. And you go back and forth, right? When rhythm enters the spine, this is something as our parents and grandparents are aging, they're losing rhythm in their spine because they don't know how to have it and feel safe. Okay? And then they're gonna add a little circle here and just kind of mix it up. This is just where it gets more fun now. You're rolling around, then you gotta go the other direction because you're a good yogi, right? You gotta always like one side, right? And then you're gonna take your arms wide. I hope you're watching. And then you're gonna be expansive and go from side to side. This is like an airplane. Okay? And it's amazing how much better this feels when someone's supporting your spine, when one becomes two. Right? And then you might do windmills. Do you know that Mind Body Solutions is trying to shift consciousness to save the planet? It's Dr. Bodhi's business. I got no problem with Dr. Bodhi. I got no problem going after windmills. I got no problem doing shit like that. Because what else are we to do? We need to come closer together to actually start moving out. And guess what? This world out there needs you now. Can you tell? Yeah. So partner up, back to back. Interlock your arms. And by the way, if you take time to feel how good it feels to sit back to back with somebody, just take a second as you're sitting back to back. Just take a second and let it in. Notice how you rush to the next thing? Type A yoga. Right here. Right here. Right? Then start to rock back and forth. Go forward, let somebody open. Find a rhythm to it. Let yourself fall open. You know, falling open is a life skill. Someone doesn't have a partner over here, so right there. Go be her partner, somebody from in green. Or here's another one here. Well, raise your hand if you don't have a partner, because damn it, she doesn't have a partner. She's good, she doesn't want to have a partner. Alright. Now start to add some circles to it. right? Just let it be more sensual. She doesn't have a partner here, and raise your hand from right there. Someone join in. Here comes one, yeah? Now go the other way because you're good yogis. Now take your arms wide. Try to get that airplane, man. You were smarter when you were a kid. Don't forget to touch the sky with the upper hand. Don't forget to reach. Then try the windmills. Try to know that it's futile, but it's beautiful. And then do the windmill the other way. That'll really mess you up. And then release your hands and come back to center. Now you don't know it, but one person suffered way more than the other. So now change the interlock on the arm so the other person's on top. Then go forward again and back. And my body solutions, we're an equal opportunity sufferer. We share suffering. We're not afraid of it. Fall open, go inward. Back and forth. Start the airplane, for God's sake. At the windmills. And then release. Sit back to back. Appreciate each other. So it basically comes down to we're not sharing enough with each other. I wish that before they argued a bill in Congress, they had to sit back to back and do it. If those guys had their bodies in more contact, those people, they wouldn't make the same decisions. They literally lost their body in the chase of power. It's sad but true. You gotta start hugging people, touching them, tricking them. You know what the best definition of subversion I've ever heard? Give people what they want against their will. Everybody wants to have company. Everybody needs reference. Everybody. Everyone needs expansion. Everyone needs balance. It's amazing what happens when we actually connect more. Humanity disguises yoga. That's actually what happens in Mind Body Solutions. And it transforms everyone involved. Please join. Please help. Please come to our classes. Please explore what it is to be in union with all that's around you. Don't be afraid to share your own suffering. We're not afraid of it because it's joyous when it's shared. All right, everyone, Shavasana. Typically not a lot of chatting in Shavasana. But once you do the Don Quixote, you know there's never going back. Once you start chasing windmills, it's worth it. It's its own reward. One of the best things Shavasana. You go into your own space and let the floor support you. But as a teacher, you know this, there's a collective aspect of Shavasana. When people let themselves be supported, connected, things unify. Surprisingly, one of the keys to unity is that we have to feel better. So let the floor hold you up, because it can. Soften your jaw inside of your mouth. Shavasana is a balancing pose. When she truly surrendered down, and the Kundalini energy starts to rise, there's a floating feeling, a lightness. This lightness touches everything. Feel your breath. Don't change it. Thank your body. There's an unchanging part here. It's eternal. You touch it every moment of every day. Be grateful. It doesn't change. You do. You're only passing through. I think we should do it together. Pass through this. Start gradually, start to bring yourself back. Increase your breath. Increase the exhalation. When you're ready, bend the elbows and place your hands on the ribcage or abdomen. Boundary is required for expansion. Touch awakens the heart. Bend the left leg, push out, roll over to your right side. Put your right here, right arm over the right ear. Push out with your left hand, keep your head low, gradually sit up. So this class was taught more for most of you than our students. So we wanted you to feel more of what it is we're passing on, and what it is to be in unity, to have sensation be shared, as it flows through all of us. I'm telling you, it seems serious, but there's a reason why we're next to a brewery. I can be relentlessly serious, and this is actually not what this is. When we start actually interacting better, it's joyful. That's what it is. And keep my vibe promise for my vibe solutions that we'll keep chasing windows. I promise. All right. Namaste. Spirit in me, body's a spirit in you. There's a food truck, right?
Food truck on the other side of the brewery, yes. We have snacks out here too.
Snacks. Hang out for a while. Please sign up. Please do yoga to share yoga. And go have a good afternoon. And try to get St. Patty's Day. Be careful. Say that again?
Just as a reminder, we have a drawing for some really great prizes at 11:40 around that number from your Yogathon package of your way. Also, we have a few activities
Thanks for helping my live station.